Right now, 10 military rifles with real service history are still selling below the cost of the cheapest AR available. They're not perfect, but they're proven. In this video, we identify which surplus rifles are still worth buying and which ones to avoid. The venerable SKS served in the military forces of dozens of countries across the Eastern Bloc and Asia. SKS rifles come from Russia originally, but those tend to be tougher to find. Yugoslavian and Chinese SKS rifles seem to be a fair bit more common than the Russian models, and Yugos are often the most affordable option. The SKS provides a semi-auto rifle that's actually quite handy. It's more than just a surplus rifle and can be used as a working gun, a hunting rifle, and even a defensive weapon. The fixed 10-round magazines make them assault weapons band-proof, which is rather nice. SKS rifles use a short-stroke gas piston system that's been proven quite reliable. Like the AK, it eats when it's filthy dirty, when it's hot or cold, and even when it's not hungry. It fires the 7.63 by 39mm round, an abundant caliber in the United States and rather cheap. It's no sniper rifle, but it puts lead where you need it. Finish off the rifle with an old-school Chinese chest rig and a pile of stripper clips to get the complete experience. The world's finest battle implement, the M1 Garand, is also one of the best semi-auto rifles on the milsurp market. It's also one of the more expensive models and can be somewhat tough to find. The Civilian Marksmanship Program sells U.S. surplus M1 Garand models, but that requires a membership. Sadly, lots of folks are members who buy these M1s and resell them at astronomical prices. So it's worth the admission into the CMP and a better option than buying from a flipper. The semi-auto action and rapidly reloading design made the American soldier a force to be reckoned with in a field of bolt-action rifles as we entered World War II. It fires the 30 service cartridge, aka the 30-06. This ammo is common and available, but not exactly cheap. A cartridge belt replica and a belt full of clips will make you well-equipped to storm beaches and kill Nazis. Don't forget the bayonet. What do you think of the M1 Garand? Let us know by giving it a rating in the comments section. Regardless of whether you're really into milsurp or not, you're going to dig this one. Known for the straight pull bolt, the beer keg charging handle, and a gorgeous Swiss shield, the Carabiner 31 is a sweet model for shooters and collectors. Built on a reputation for excellent machining and craftsmanship, the K31 doesn't disappoint. It offers legendary accuracy, firing the 7.5 by 55mm Swiss round. Many military rifles murder your shoulder, but the felt recoil on the K31 isn't too bad. I'll call it medium and certainly manageable. Be wary that it feels a bit heavy and ammo is expensive, but with a unique cartridge like that, it's to be expected. But aside from that, the K31 is a fun gun to shoot and even better to show off. The Lee Enfield has undergone many revisions since its original introduction in 1895. But for this video, we are specifically looking at the number 1 and number 4 variants, which are the most iconic and popular versions. These rifles have a very robust, reliable action and are noted for their smooth cock-on-close action and higher 10-round capacity. They're often associated with the Mad Minute drill that required soldiers to put at least 12 to 15 rounds on a target at 300 yards within a minute. As mentioned, the Enfield boasts a 10-round capacity and can be loaded using 2 5-round stripper clips. This is double the 5 rounds that most standard bolt-action rifles of the era held. Recoil-wise, the .303 British round is about on par with 30-06 out of a bolt-action rifle of similar weight. While the short number 5 jungle carbines might look appealing, the recoil is pretty heinous, hence our recommendation on sticking to the classic number 1 and number 4 versions. Enfields have managed to stay a bit more stabilized in price over some other guns like the Mauser K98, and are even cheaper than many of the Mauser clones like the Yugo M48s. These are awesome shooters with a ton of history behind them and are a great addition to any milshire action. Mazin Nagants have long been the go-to surplus rifle for those new to the world of milsurp. This was mainly because they were widely available, as was surplus 7.62 by 54mm ammo. The price of Mazin has risen drastically in the last few years, due largely in part to a new generation of shooters, dwindling supply, and video game popularity. Although the days of $89 Mazins and cheap 54R spam cans are gone, the rifles are relatively affordable as far as milsurp goes. Like the Lee Enfield, there have been a ton of variants of the Mazin Nagant since its inception. The rifle's been around since 1891 and has been used in nearly 50 different major wars and conflicts. While these are solid rifles, they do exhibit the typical Russian standard of manufacturing. Lovingly referred to by many as the garbage rod, Mazin actions aren't as smooth as the other rifles on this list, and they are definitely rougher around the edges. However, the rifles are rugged and have clearly withstood both the test of time and the test of new young shooters abusing 100-year-old guns. Again, we typically like the longer variants such as the 9130, but if you like shooting fireballs and feeling some mighty recoil, the M38 and M44 carbine variants are pretty easy to find as well. The Swedish Mauser model of 1896 is a step up from the price of the Mazin. With this increase in price comes an increase in the quality of firearm being purchased. The Swedish Mausers are known for their excellent fit and finish. Even those like the one pictured, which has taken many dings and dents, maintain an undeniable aesthetic quality. The Swedish M1896, also known as the M96, is said to be one of the most accurate military surplus rifles ever imported. This makes it an obvious choice for new collectors who want a top-notch shooting experience with their first military surplus rifle. The Swedish Mausers have an intriguing history of their own, which I recommend new collectors look into, regardless of their choice of first purchase. The M96 chambers the 6.5 by 55 millimeter cartridge. Excellent ballistic performance and minimal recoil are both hallmarks of this round, and it happens to be a somewhat popular hunting cartridge here in the United States. This means that several manufacturers are producing ammunition for the M96, which a collector should be able to find at many local gun stores and large retailers. The performance of a well-preserved M96 with quality ammunition is great even by today's standards. The high build quality of the M96 paired with its ballistic performance make it an ideal choice for new collectors who want to squeeze the best possible accuracy results out of their surplus firearm at the range. Japanese firearms are some of the most interesting used in the Second World War. Portrayals in popular media like HBO's The Pacific have increased the appreciation many prospective collectors have for these firearms, especially the Arisaka rifles. The Arisaka rifles have appreciated greatly in value in recent years, with the Type 99 variant currently selling online for between $450 and $1,000 based on condition and variant. However, price is not currently the barrier to entry for the Arisaka rifles. Ammunition, both for the 6.5mm and 7.7mm variants of Arisaka, has become extremely scarce. Reloading components exist for the rounds, but many new collectors will not have the means to reload ammunition. Prices fluctuate, but 20-round boxes of factory-manufactured 7.7 Japanese routinely sell for $3 a shot or more, when they can even be found. Very few, if any, manufacturers produce cartridges for the Arisaka rifles at this time, so shooting them has become increasingly difficult for those who don't have the means to reload. This is not only an issue with Arisakas, but with a host of other military surplus firearms. Certain rounds that were once available on the shelves of gun stores now rarely make an appearance, even in the online market. Buying the needed tools and components to reload opens up a lot of doors for military surplus shooters. For those who can't load their own ammunition, it's imperative to research and consider the current availability of ammo for a surplus firearm before taking it home. While an Arisaka rifle makes an excellent addition to a collection and is a joy to shoot at the range, the difficulty in acquiring ammo for many new collectors is a sign that they should steer clear unless they can produce the ammo themselves. American soldiers armed with Krag Jorgensen military rifles chambered in 30-40 Krag received a sobering lesson during the Spanish-American War. The United States thought the Krag rifles' ease of use while reloading was advantageous. The Spaniards, equipped with Mauser rifles, were simply more effective. Mauser rifles shot farther and flatter. They penetrated harder with a more humane bullet and reloaded quicker. As a result, the Army selected the 1903 Springfield, named after the Springfield Armory, to replace the Krag Jorgensen. The new rifle incorporated many features that made the Mauser such a revolutionary rifle. The gun was so similar to the Mauser that Springfield had to pay royalties to Mauser for patent infringement. However, like the Mauser, the 1903 Springfield was a very successful rifle. American soldiers widely used it in World Wars I and II. Chambered in the ubiquitous 30-06 Springfield cartridge, the Springfield is a very accurate rifle with a competent shooter capable of hitting targets at long range. For this reason, it was used by American snipers in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. These characteristics make the 1903 Springfield an excellent choice for hunters and shooters. Hunters using surplus 1903 Springfields have taken virtually every North American big game species. Unfortunately, the biggest problem with the 1903 Springfield is that it's probably the most expensive military surplus gun on this list, fetching prices over $800 in most cases. At the end of the day, every shooter and collector is different, and each enjoys and engages in the hobby and sport in different ways. A shooter's or collector's specific circumstances and taste in firearms will greatly affect what makes a good or bad first purchase. With a few ideas of some qualities and conditions to look for when selecting a first military surplus firearm, prospective collectors are better equipped to make good decisions that hopefully will allow them to enjoy collecting and shooting these mechanical pieces of history for years to come.